Yeah, I want to talk about these Maglites because actually I've had these Maglites a long time. One thing, some people don't like these Maglites with the switch that you turn with your hand. See, if you turn it, it goes on and off. They say some people, I've seen complaints online where they go, "Oh, there's no button, I can't switch it," or I was like, "What are you talking about?" You know, what are you talking about? You can do it you can change it one hand. Now, most batteries that are sold today are probably the most popular sizes are AA's, and I think AAA's, then D, then C is starting to get a little like you can get them in places, but it's not the most popular battery size. And I don't know why, because I think it should be a very popular battery size for a flashlight, because when you look at the capacity of the batteries, the AA's don't have that much runtime compared to C's and D's. D's having the longest runtime. Now, I have two. Now, you look at these Maglites. You know, there's another use I had with these. These were actually taped on the front of a bicycle. There was a radiator. No, the tape was not. Excuse me, I should not say taped on there. There was a radiator clamp with a flat mount. Excuse me. There was a radiator clamp with a flat mount on a handlebar. So that flat mount, this rested on there, and you can move it up and down because there was like it was gripped around the handlebar, you know, but not extremely tight. And the radiator clamp went around this hose material or whatever it is. This tape, you know, freaking Gorilla Tape, whatever the hell it is, right? Now, I use this as a bicycle light all the time. That was one of the advantages I liked of it. But one thing I don't like about this light is I replaced these switches already on both these lights. Even though they're very old and they lasted a long time, these switches fail. They're good now, I think. God, it stayed on, man. See that? You got to smack them every once in a while. You know what it is? That's what I don't like. I changed that switch too. Damn it! It was just working too. No, now it's off. It was sticking. It was sticking. Sticking. Motherfucker, sticking. I don't even believe that shit. There it is. It's off. I probably need to pop that rubber off and spray a little WD-40. And I think this light, I think I grab this one more often. Yeah, this one's kind of sits there as my spare. So the switches in these are self-cleaning, fine, but yeah, whatever. But just they're pretty damn reliable. And actually, even these switches with using the vibrations on a bicycle when you're riding it for like 50 miles or whatever, it didn't. This light's freaking stayed on good, better than the ones that are designed for a bicycle and vibrations. And the other thing that's wrong with these switches, you got these little rubber caps, which you can lose. And normally those switches, they give you a little more problem in cold weather. Like it's not cold right now, it's about 60 degrees over here in Florida. But this is what I'm liking about, I had to pick up one of these. I says, I was looking, I says, well shit, Wally World had one. And this is one of the ones, because they're starting to freaking make Maglites in China, which not necessarily mean that quality's bad, but this is still a USA Maglite. Some of the Maglite brands are going to China. But this one takes 2 C Cell batteries. This light will run a lot longer than this little AA light. It's not that much bigger, and it's a 2 battery versus a 3 battery D size. It's a pretty small size, and works good. Now, you know what batteries are in here? These were completely dead regular batteries that are freaking they were like 10 years old laying around. I don't know how long they're gonna last. Maybe they're crapping out already, but there was no light coming out of these batteries at all. And I put them on a Bedini charger for a while, and who the hell knows, maybe it's not going to last that long. That's the thing. But it works. It's going to work for a while. Maybe it's not going to last that long. That's the thing. But I just want to point that out, that I'm going to actually throw these away, but in an emergency, Like I said, these were not even alkaline. These were laying around. They had 0 volts in them. Nothing. 0. They're probably 10 years old. They're not even alkalines. They're just super heavy duties. I freaking put them on a charger. Now, looks like that light won't stay on that freaking long, and maybe it'll be staying on pretty long, very weak. But it had 0 light, and without, before. But this thing, with some new batteries in it, is potent. It's a potent little light, and you can unscrew it. You can turn it on with one hand. I don't know what the hell. It's just, people bitch about that feature that they'd rather have a button, but I'd rather have it like this, because those buttons, like you saw this one that sits around. This is my one I use, my go-to light mostly. That's bigger. You can see I can press it in there. It works fine. This guy, you know what it is? It needs to be used. Oh, now it's working. There it is. No, it ain't. That's because this button is starting to stick again, damn it. See what I mean? These buttons are bullshit, man. That was changed. It's just that it's been sitting around. See, the front of this light was changed too. This was changed. The glass, the lens was changed. It's always blue. That's the problem with these things. And now it's off. I need to actually pull off this rubber, spray a little WD-40 in there, let it soak, and then the button should be fine again. It's probably just, like I said, this one's been laying around. After I changed the switch, it's been laying around, not being used. And normally, those switches are not problematic, especially if you're using a light once in a while. But these switches are fail-safe, as far as I'm concerned. But you don't have this kind where you turn the head of it with the D size, and maybe that wouldn't work that well because it's a little wider and you might be kind of hard to turn it, when it's in your hand. That would be kind of difficult to do. But with this C size flashlight, you could see the difference in size. It is significantly different. That's a 2 battery C. This is a 3 battery D. This is still a small light. It's quite a bit bigger than the AA, but it's still small, but it's a hell of a lot brighter than the AA. It's 177 lumens. I was trying to find one of these around. I just happened to notice it in Walmart. I said, "Oh, good, let me get this," because it had none of the. It wasn't really super high tech. It was an LED flashlight with very bright one. Didn't have multiple modes. It was basically an on-off bullshit thing. It wasn't like I don't like lights that have, when you turn them on, you could say if it flashes, it's got an econo mode. Yeah, that might be nice, but it's got so many electronics in it, it's more crap to fail. Like, these switches are supposed to be almost 100% fail-safe on these freaking lights. Well, you noticed, I don't know why that was like that, but that surprised me. I was just, like I said, this one's the one I use. This one usually sits on the side. There's a spare. I'm surprised that's even though that's a brand new switch. I think the rubber piece on here is kind of old. That's what's the problem is. It's kind of the rubber's kind of stiff. That's what's keeping the switch from flying back. But that's the other problem with these switches in the cold weather. This rubber, a lot of times it's you could say no, yes. I know people argue back and forth, but once that rubber gets a little bit older, that's another failure point. And once that rubber falls off of there, and then you get dirt in there, that switch gets screwed up, and then you got to change it. I think this is way more reliable, and it's still a strong enough flashlight to do the job for pretty much anything you want. So, and I think this was like, when this bonus pack was like $18 or some crap like that. It was 18 something, and this little guy is actually probably a better one to have on your keychain. You can never believe, but if you could freaking fit that, maybe it will fit on there. But I find that this is fail safe. The only thing that can go wrong with this is really the electronic bulb, the bulb itself. But That's pretty much not going to happen. So, and price wise, now this light would work very well with rechargeable batteries. If you got some nickel metal hydride envelope or Tenergy low self-discharge batteries, they got ones out there that are I forget the specifications exactly, but I know like nickel cadmium, the standard nickel cadmium rechargeable batteries I think discharge 1% a day, if I remember right, and the standard nickel metal hydride, which are twice the capacity, will discharge at I think 3% a day. It's some crazy number. It's like it's maybe several months as batteries are dead, which you don't want like that with flashlights laying around. That's why you want to get alkalines. But the newer nickel metal hydride batteries, like from Panasonic Envelope and Tenergy, the Tenergy makes one, I think it's Centura nickel metal hydride, which are low self-discharge. I got both of those actually, both types of those. Those, especially if you put them on a Bedini charger, they'll hold up a long time. And eventually, that's probably going to go in here. Right now, I just got some regular alkaline batteries in here. But to me, this is a fail-safe switch. You know, this is a not a fail-safe camera stand, fail-safe switch. And this little Maglite is maybe, these are both from the mid. These are like right at, these are pretty close to when Maglite, I think, when did Maglite start making lights? I think 1980 or something like that. I think it was 1980. These were bought in like 85 to 87, both of these. They were not bought in the 90s. This one was bought in the early 90s. So this one is actually still 20 something years old, and it was used. I used this light a lot. So the switch never broke. That's what came up. That's what was made me look for a C size. I didn't realize that. I was looking around. I said, I wonder if they make a bigger one that has this, where you can just turn it. That never broke. I changed both those switches. And I think the problem with this is not the switch, it's the rubber cap is very stiff. I don't know. We're going to have to take a look at that. I realize that shit. It works more or less. But like I said, this one, the rubber cap on this is kind of stiff. I think that's what's keeping the freaking switch from going back off again. But this one, I'd expect this never to fail because it doesn't have a button on it. It just turns. And you know, you can signal with it. I mean, what are you kidding me? You go, you know, you can still signal with it. You know, more or less. It's not that freaking difficult, unless you're a freaking total spaz. I mean, if you can't figure out how to do that, you know, with a signal. Actually, if you're using two hands, it would be really easy to signal it, right? So, I think this is fail-safe. I also think it's cheaper, it's small, and yet it's powerful. And it's amazing that somehow C-size batteries are not, you don't see them that too much in the stores. And you know, the other thing is too, if you actually go in a lot of these big box stores, a lot of times you don't see rechargeable batteries for sale, except maybe in a AA or AAA size. Usually the AA size. And also the chargers they sell with those to recharge batteries, like these kind of flashlight batteries and stuff. They're designed that you're not going to get 500 cycles out of that battery. No way in hell. They'll destroy that battery way before the 500 cycles that they claim when they say up to 500 cycles. That's why I got the Bedini charger, because the Bedini charger you'll get probably past whatever they say you could recycle. If they say 500 cycles, up to 500 cycles, up to 1,000 cycles, I will get that out of that. Plus, each cycle will hold more of a charge than if you use the conventional charger. And this was something I just threw in the beginning because these were like total zero. I don't think that light would have stayed on very long, probably maybe 15 minutes, but then again, at low power. But then again, you know, if you had no batteries and no juice came out of them when I did this, I still put it, they were zero. They were flat out zero. So just want to put that out. I would highly recommend. This is not a popular flashlight. I'm not saying a Maglite, but this one without the button with the 2 C cell batteries, where it's just simple on and off. This is not a popular flashlight. And to me, this is their most reliable, functional, still portable yet powerful flashlight. This thing will have more power than the A. You see, this the C, that's the A. This will run longer, and it's not that much bigger. I mean, you could say it's twice the size, but it's twice the size of something really dinky, you know. This thing is kind of a pain in the ass to carry around. I mean, I'd rather carry this with a Bowie knife or a camp axe than just carry this. You know, because this thing's actually like a tank. And I guess you could say it's a weapon, but this is like a mini weapon. But I'd rather have this or a Bowie knife, and that's more of a weapon. or a camp axe. So, just want to put that out there, because this switch, since I've had this light, I think since 92 or 93, so that makes it 25 years old, right? Something like that. Yeah. This light has never failed, because it's just, that's all there is to the switch. That's all there is. Anyway, over and out. Just some quick advice. Keep it simple, stupid, but some upgrades are nice. It's definitely good to have an LED flashlight, but the drawback is having too many electronics in a flashlight with too many modes. You know, I can, I don't know, I could play all these flashes this way and that way and all that shit. Fine, great. I mean, yeah, sometimes that firefly mode, econo mode is nice to have, but, you know, it's like, yes, maybe, maybe not, but then it's something else that could break. I don't like that shit. Like, it's just, there's another thing added in there that's something else that can break. I'm very conservative with technology in a lot of ways. There's certain things I go for and there's certain things I don't. So hands down, which of these 4 Maglites, you know, if you're going to only have one Maglite, which one I would recommend? The one with the 2 C cells that doesn't have a button. You can still operate it one hand. There's no problem. I don't know what the hell these guys are talking. Some people bitch about that. Fail safe as you can get. And this thing, you know, okay, this one's brand new. These are ancient. This one is, okay, 85 and 87, I think. Something like that. It's in the mid-80s. So, these are about 30 years old. That one's about 27 years old or something, or whatever. Something like that. These are over 30 years. These are a little about 30 years old. This one's I don't know, 25 years old or something, right? This brand new, okay? But since it's like that design, I'd expect, and that one had no problems with the switch ever, I don't think this is ever going to have a problem. And I could tell it's a shitload brighter. And you know what? This, I upgraded the LED circuitry in the bulbs twice, or 3 times on this thing, actually. 3 times. This is the latest, greatest. Right here. That. This is the C. The C makes that look like nothing. And this one will, since it's got a much larger batteries than the double A's, will outlast it in hours. I don't know what the freaking hours are, but probably, I don't know, not 100% sure. Probably only a few hours or something. But if you got some nickel metal hydride low self-discharge batteries, you're okay. Because this doesn't last that many hours either, because there's no econo mode. But to tell you the truth, like I said, I don't like too many features, because the more features, you know how many freaking lights I had with all those bullshit freaker features before? They're still not around. They broke. They broke. That's why I'm kind of like, electronics are cool, but not too many electronics. That's just how I am. Yeah, by the way, the problem with this one light was not the switch, it was the rubber cap. I was kind of suspecting it was kind of stiff. I actually fixed it more or less. Well, it's going to stay this way. Actually, I'm going to leave it this way. Monster tape. Click it on. Click it off. Click it on. Click it off. You got to press your finger right in that dent right there. There it is. On, off, on, off. As far as I'm concerned, it works. Probably more waterproof than the original rubber switch anyway, because I don't see how nothing can pass monster tape. Gorilla tape, excuse me. I always call it monster tape. Gorilla tape. Yeah, it works good to me. So there's a dent right here. See that dent? That's where you stick your thumb. You stick your thumb in that dent, and you go, "Hurt." You can still tell where to press the button. So, like, I knew I changed that switch in this damn thing. And I said, "Why is that switch breaking?" It's the rubber thing. It's probably the original rubber thing from 1986 or something. But I think I'm gonna leave this monster tape on here anyway, because how the hell are you gonna get water past that? This thing's probably more waterproof than it ever was, right? Hey, whatever, man.